All right, we got some absolute pandemonium going on over here. Asteroid M is fine. We got Meek here. This is just a solid deck, by the way. So everyone's been talking about this end of turn deck, and I'm pretty sure we're playing against it right now. With Hydra Bob, you've got a bunch of other cards that work with end of turn triggers. Blade's actually gonna be nice with the Scorn here. We'll throw that down. You've got Hydra Bob, obviously. You've got Sunspot. You've got potentially the High Evo package as well. But you also have some really other good cards like Marvel Boy. Invisible Woman First Steps is one of those new cards that really enables this archetype, quote unquote, and lets you get a bunch of points down. Havoc, Thena, and such like that. And the biggest thing I've heard from people was, okay, how do I outpower this deck? And I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Wait, no, that's what I haven't heard from anyone. I haven't heard how to outpower this deck. I've heard no tech card beats this deck. That's the wrong thing that I've heard. And that's the thing I don't get. Like, you don't need to worry about what tech card beats this deck when all you need to do is you just need to outpower them like I said originally and messed it up. I think this deck is actually insanely powerful and really good at just beating the stats. All I have to do here is I can throw a Moon Girl down. Moon Girl's going to have to go in this left lane here because of, what is it? Because just the fact that Collector's over in this lane and Asteroid M's going to move stuff around. We could go Colleen Wing instead to move Meek over here, but then we don't have a way to discard our other cards. A great card we would have loved to get at this point would have been Bullseye, but I think we're still going to be okay without that. Moon Girl means we can go MODOK and such like that right this turn. A bunch of points onto Collector. The Thing First Steps means they can get rid of Blade, and that doesn't matter to me. Cool. This is actually completely fine. I don't care about this. They've also snapped against me, and I think that's a big mistake. Like, legitimately, Blade means nothing. And then the Red Hulk also kind of is a nothing burger. All I have to do is I just throw MODOK down in this lane, and I win. The amount of cards we're going to be discarding on the board, Meek's going to get up to amazing amounts of power. We've got all of this stuff here. I might actually... No, Muramasa Shards don't matter in terms of, like, putting them on the board. It's just this, and we should win. Maybe we do play Muramasa Shard just in terms of trying to make sure the Red Hulk doesn't get as much power. But with a couple of lucky triggers... Yeah, you know what? That's going to be the biggest thing I think I probably made a mistake about here. I got lucky. I did get a little bit lucky here because I managed to get a little bit more... I got a good amount of those Scorn triggers in the right lane. But actually, the correct call would have been playing one of these... one of those Muramasa Shards onto the board just so I didn't trigger that Red Hulk that we didn't know that they had. But the biggest thing is this, like... This deck can put out a lot of power, and this, to be fair, was a lower-powered game from our opponent in terms of this archetype. However, it didn't matter. Dak and Bullseye has just been a good deck, and even though they did take a couple of points of power away from it by, you know, hitting Bullseye recently, and... Actually, is it just Bullseye? And then they hit MODOK a few OTAs ago as well. Doesn't really matter. This deck can put down an amazing amount of power, and I think is really dangerous. I like it. Let's keep going. I like this start here. We've got Scorn, Bullseye, Grandmaster. We also have Dakin on the board. One of the cards that I do see sometimes inside of decks like this is, and I think it's instead of our Moon Girl that we do have, it's Frigga. And I think Frigga's a great card. I think it's actually very useful. However, I just like the idea of doing Moon Girl because those extra turns of just getting an amazing amount of cards are really nice. We're going to miss on the Colleen Wing trigger here, but Dakin's going to be really solid for us instead. Actually, are we going Bullseye instead this turn? What are we getting for the next? Weird World I don't love, depending on what we get here. We also don't know what we're playing against. Is this a... Oh, this might be... Okay, we really want this card then, because this might actually be a Super Giant deck. If it's Super Giant, then we really want this stuff here. Let's go... Let's throw Daredevil down, I think, actually. I'm going to go Daredevil, and actually I'm going to throw down Colleen Wing here. Because I also would like to make... I'd like to avoid as much as possible a Cannonball messing with my Bullseye. So this is going to be the correct call here. So we protect our Bullseye a little bit with this. We're only hitting Scorn, which is good for us. We've got Dakin and Grandmaster on the board still. Well, thankfully, because we did play their own Daredevil, we actually get to know what their next card is going to be, which is really helpful. What are they going to do here? And because of them, like, just the setup that they currently have, our turn play might be going Gladiator in this left lane into Morbius mid. And then next turn, potentially doing some fun stuff with Grandmaster Dakin. Let's see this bit. Negasonic into Maximus. So this is probably going to be that deck that also runs, what's his face? Why can't I think of it? The one that runs Ronin, which is going to be a fair play. So we're going to definitely go Gladiator in this lane into... And I have priority, so it's actually not going to matter for this bit. Let's go Morbius here. So thankfully, neither of those two cards actually make any difference in terms of our current game plan. But this is nice. So what I can do is I can go... I wanted to be able to use Swarm, but I don't think I really... Do I really want to be able to use the Swarm for the Bullseye stuff? Maybe I do, honestly. I can go Scorn. Dakin. Blade. Dakin. Activate. I think this is pretty good. To be fair, they are going to do Ronin things. Actually, because they're doing Ronin things, that probably means I don't want to actually do it that way, right? Yeah, I don't want that. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to go... Dakin, Grandmaster, activate, Blade. Cool, good stuff. I like it. This is one of the other decks, and so I've played actually a deck similar to this, where it is these, it's super giant plus tech cards that you can kind of use to counter everything else. So this actually is going to stop my Grandmaster, which is a notable bit here. And might make it so, I guess this probably means that my Dakin's going to be in trouble here. However, like, it doesn't feel as good for them here. Cannonball hits my Dakin, which is fair. They have a Negasonic in that lane, but that's still not enough points to win. And even with the Maximus in the middle lane, this would have to be something really big for them, and yeah, it's definitely not. Gladiator's an insane amount of points in that left lane. And Morbius is on the board, which is 8 points, yeah. So even with that, we're going to get 2 extra cards into our hand, not going to matter. Negasonic also does nothing for them. So this is the deck that's also people have been running in order to counter that end of turn stuff. And again, I don't get why people are trying to do all this type of stuff. As someone who actually did try it, I realize it doesn't work as confidently as just like putting more points on the board. And the Dakin discard deck, people were upset with for months about being like, hey, this deck puts too many points on the board. It is insanely good. And I agree, it's really good. So why is no one currently playing it? It doesn't make any sense to me. This deck's great. It's a really solid pile of cards. Let's keep going. I don't get why no one's playing this pile. Oh my gosh. One of the biggest combos, obviously, is Collector into the Cloning Vats, which is insanely good. I'm going to wait one turn. We do it now. I want to wait a turn so they don't know I'm snapping on Cloning Vats. I'd rather than think I'm snapping on Dark Dimension, which is like, okay, why are they snapping on Dark Dimension? But the second I play my Collector, they'll know why I'm snapping. It could also be because I've drawn Collector now, which I already had it, but it doesn't matter here. I don't care much about Hotel Inferno, honestly. I'm going to go Collector here into Blade in this lane, because I think Blade in the middle is better for me here. Let's go Meek Bullseye. I think I like Meek Bullseye here. I'd rather just burn some of my cards. Burn a Meek here, and then I get to put it down a Bullseye, and the Bullseyes, if I can get Swarm, something like that, will scale up insanely well. Misery doesn't do anything for them? Let's go Bullseye. Collector. This card could be a little bit scary, but I think we'll be okay here. Depends on what this last card is. If this last card isn't... Okay, we lose a Bullseye, but we don't lose both, which is a big deal. I don't love it being Scorn, actually. Well, actually, I can still do this, right? So we can go... Calling Wing. Fun fact. Wait, hold up. Calling Wing. Grandmaster. Calling Wing, actually. Grandmaster. I can throw Meek down. Meek's going to do nothing, basically, for us. I play Scorn. Actually, I can play Scorn before, technically. Calling Wing, as soon as Calling Wing is played, I guess she could technically hit... So actually, I do want to wait. So it's going to be Calling Wing, Grandmaster. And then I go Scorn, Meek, activate. Because technically, she could discard Morbius. So by getting 2 triggers on her, I am guaranteeing that my Swarm is hit at least once, potentially twice. And then we've got the Bullseye to hit a bunch of their cards and get bunch of power on my collectors, everything else like that. I've also got cards in the middle. I don't have a lot of points here, but they don't know that. Very good for me. I'm expecting a Shadow King, I think feels like a fair call. And potentially another Red Guardian, but we'll see. And I got lucky with that bit, which is great for me here. Calling Wing getting triggered again. I actually realized, yeah, so it's actually 8 points middle, not 4 because of Grandmaster existing. I definitely remembered that. Definitely didn't forget. I definitely forgot, actually. That goes there. Give me even more points. And then Bullseye. God, this is so good. Second dinner. Could we speed up that animation, please, for the swarms? This is way too much. Cool. A Shadow King doesn't matter for me. Scorn is also still fine because I get more points on the board with the collectors as well, by the way. And we throw Meek down. No one... I don't get why no one is playing this deck. It's just really good. It's just a really good pile of cards. All right, Meek, Swarm, Dakin. This is on it. Ooh, Bar Sinister's interesting. I know I can potentially use... I feel like I want to put Bullseye in this lane if I can. Michael's got Paper Company. What are you going to do to me? I don't love this setup. What am I doing here? Is it Bullseye or is it Dakin? I think if I go Bullseye, they can play to the middle lane. So I've got to go... I can do Bullseye first. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. They are not going to be happy. No, no, no. The Dakin's going to go over here, by the way, and then I'm going to move it back over to the middle with the Grandmaster. This is so unfortunate. I think it's a Cerebro too, by the way. Do I actually even play the Blade? Because I kind of want to dodge Prio. I don't think I'll be able to, but I kind of want to. Let's just play Morbius. This is Dakin discard? Oh no. Or no, this isn't Dakin discard. Oh no, this is Legion. This is Legion stuff. This is actually really scary all of a sudden. Okay, I can do this though. We can still win this. Calling Wing. Calling Wing, Blade, Grandmaster. Because this is going to be Legion. Okay, maybe Dakin's okay. I didn't expect it to go this way. I mean, I guess this is still okay. Okay, I mean, we're honestly kind of still vibing. All right, Grandmaster, who are you hitting again here? Dakin. We can play a Swarm to get 2 Marasta Shards, because one Dakin's going to go here, get moved over to this lane, then this happens, and then I just activate Bullseye and profit. Like, all this is probably going to be is like an Infinite, and it doesn't matter. Unless I'm like really going to make a big mistake here. Wait, wouldn't it have... I guess it doesn't work that way? Okay. I don't know, I thought this would have done twice, but is what it is. That's points. But if we're talking about the meta of combo decks, which honestly I love the fact that this is basically a meta of just full combo decks. This is the best combo deck in the game. In my personal opinion, anyway. This is just the best one. Stop ignoring it. Please. It's really good. Bar with no name. You know what? Let's dodge Prio. How good is dodging Prio? Maybe it's bad. Maybe I don't want to dodge Prio. They have Shang-Chi as an avatar. They're willing to put tech cards in their deck, calling it. Let's not dodge Prio, but it doesn't feel like the best idea. Blade, though. I do like the Swarm. Swarm on the Blade is good. Or Blade on the Swarm. I like that bit. Double Swarms. Ravona. Does this mean... I'm going to guess Cerebro 2. Ooh, we do have Bar Sinister as a current hot location, fun fact. So either Cerebro 2, I'm guessing, or it's just a Mr. Negative deck. That's what it is. Okay. So a real card that I think we're going to have to be worried about here. We need Bullseye. I think actually the real thing we need here is Bullseye. Ultimate Man doesn't do anything. Toxie Doxie gives their cards extra power. Kind of messes with the Ravona synergy. I don't mind this. Let's float this turn. I guess I can play Calling Wing. I can play Calling Wing instead, actually. Because if I play Calling Wing, I can move Meek over to the left lane and then trigger her again next turn with Grandmaster. Or even wait a turn to do it. So I think this is probably fine. Again, if we're talking about combo decks, to be fair, Mr. Negative, I think, is the king of combo decks. Bullseye is the card I really want, though. If we can get Bullseye, I think, to be able to play on Bar Sinister, so we have 2 more turns, 2 more draws, so 40% chance to draw Bullseye here, and if we can, I think this is going to be our game. If not, different conversation entirely. We'll see. I hit end turn. Oh, we got the end turn bug. Boy, I love this one. In case you can't tell, I actually don't love that bug in the slightest. I don't think it's a good thing. It's crazy, I know, that I'm going to give the crazy stance that, you know, bugs in game, not good. It did nothing? I basically am doing this as well because I would like to move the Meek to the left lane. Do I snap here? Shouldn't have snapped. You see what we would have done. You definitely see what we would have done. I wasn't even snapping because they didn't play anything, and maybe because of that I shouldn't have snapped. But because of just Bullseye and Bar Sinister would have been insane. And to be fair, it is a hot location. We'll maybe see that future in this video. Later in this video? Next game. We have a good amount of cards we can play to start ourselves off here. Well, okay, I mean, we can't actually play any of these cards to start ourselves off, but we have a setup. We have a setup is what I'm trying to say here. However, we can definitely play Scorn. I'm gonna... Do I actually want to? Because I think I would like to be able to hit my Swarms with these cards. So I'm actually going to wait a second. We're going to go Bullseye next turn. Because I think that the Swarms are the cards I think I most want to put down on the board if I can. Let's see what we got here. Sewer System. We're definitely going to put a Bullseye on the board. Am I playing Moon Girl next? Depending on what my next card is, it might be Moon Girl. By my next card is, I mean whatever the next card is that I draw. Of course. Let's see. I could even go with the Blade following. Agent Venom. There's a no. Okay, I was about to say it could be a deck with Valkyrie, but this is most likely a bounce deck. So that makes sense. It's fine. Let's go Blade into Dakin. Is that gonna fill up our hand? We're gonna get 1, 2, 3. No, we're gonna get 3 more. We're gonna get 3 more cards in hand. Okay, that's fine. It's going to be a Falcon here into probably a Beast in this lane if I had to gather. Make an educated guess, as it were. Basically just want to dodge Cryo, and I think we can pretty effectively do that here. We can play our Moon Girl. Do I actually want to? What if I just go Calling Wing here instead? Because then next turn I can play Moon Girl, Swarms, and Grand. I can actually play a lot of other stuff this next coming turn if I just wait. And I think that's actually better here. I think there's a good chance we dodge priority as well. I'm not going to snap. I know we don't have any of our bigger scalers, but if I just kind of wait, I should just be able to outpower them. I don't need the top card of my deck. I'm not going to draw it here. They're not playing anything else there. That's interesting. So let's go... Grant. Yeah, by dodging everything, we had the game because we dodged priority really effectively on that turn. What we were gonna do is we were gonna go Grandmaster over here to get another Muramasa Shard into our hand. Then we could have played probably Moon Girl into this same lane. I think we might even throw another Swarm over here, so we would have had Scorn, Swarm, Muramasa, Swarm, Swarm. And then I probably put one more Swarm over in this lane, so then I can Moon Girl, get 3 Muramasa Shards, 2 Scorns, and then 2 Swarms, and my whole hand should be full at that point, potentially. If I my math right, maybe I'm wrong. And then we just bank. That's pretty good. Pretty good stuff there. Legit question. What type of... Oh, Blade to start us off here is really nice. What type of deck isn't a combo deck? It feels like a weird question, but I think it's a fair one. What type of deck isn't a combo deck in Marvel Snap? Because I was thinking about this, like, this is the best combo deck. But, like, does that mean this is the best deck? I don't think so. I think it's just a good deck. They've got my Bullseye. What do we get of theirs? We can know that they're running... Oh, they're running a Destroy deck with Black Cat. That's interesting. Okay. Like, but what kind of deck in Marvel Snap isn't a combo deck, I think is a real question. If I go Calling Wing here, I draw 2 Swarms. But I think if I get my... Oh, wait. I'm going to wait. Is this end of turn stuff with Venom? Well, Dakin's better. No, Dakin isn't better. It's Bullseye instead. Gladiator hits Collector. We lose Collector. Okay. I don't mind that, honestly. Let's go Dakin on this turn. Into what? Grandmaster's a great card to get here. We're definitely going to go Grandmaster here. I mean, we're going to play Dakin in this lane, actually. We play Dakin there into... What do they got? Starbrand. This is going to be like a Venom lane that they want to eat. What are they doing? Why are there so many cards? Like, some of these cards I get for them wanting to destroy, but, like, a lot of them don't make the most sense here, it feels like. Let's go Grandmaster in this lane. I'm actually going to do something weirder, I think, and I'm going to go Venom. Because out of all the cards that I could get played, next turn, I think the Venom is the one I want the least over here. And honestly, the majority of these cards actually help me right now. So I think an extra Dakin trigger should be better here than most of what we could do. Cool Obsidian. I think they're probably going to go Venom mid, by the way, which is also another good reason why Dakin's good here. Unless, of course, they get Dakin, or they get their Venom getting played for them in the Grand Central lane. That's probably one of the better ones. Astral Projection, does that mean it gets Venom? Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's so bad, y'all. That's so bad for them. Oh my gosh, and I can do Moon Girl. Activate. Done. Moon Girl activate. I mean... do kind of love it. You do kind of love it. I mean, if you're my opponent, you probably don't. But if you're me, boy, do you love it. I mean, that's just going to be... To be fair, it doesn't make a big difference on anything that we're actually... Hold up, does it actually not make a difference? Wait, it's actually more points to do this. Because they only have 4 cards. And I have nothing that scales off of discarding. That's an interesting shout. We actually get more points by playing it this way. What are they going to do? How do they get all the points mid? Or into these other lanes? Mobius is a card that really hurts his deck. It really helps, though, to play Mobius before the final turn. Pro tip. And actually, because it's still the bullseye, we did win because the Venom lost on 2 power exactly. And I missed the fact that, of course, Starbrand was giving us an ongoing bonus. Didn't matter still. Kind of love it. I'm still kind of really loving this deck. Mr. Sir. All right. Meek. Morbius. And honestly, the Collector. We've got all the scalers we pretty much needed right now, which I'm loving. Probably gonna be okay. Probably gonna be okay. They've got the setup for that bit. Makes sense. Let's go Collector here. We do have Swarm on the board, which is cool. We just don't have any reason to use it currently. Hydra Bob. Oh, they're running new Domino. Okay. I haven't actually seen anyone running new Domino. I heard some friends talking about that where they were talking about how it might just be a good card to just play for, what is it, to put with like a 1-2. Ooh, Cerebro 4? Cerebro 4, I think, is the real answer right now. Let's go Bullseye. Definitely Cerebro 4. So what are we doing in combo with this? That's so rude. I'm playing Modok here because, honestly, with everything I have left, Grandmaster, Blade, Dakin, and Moon Girl all just benefit me in terms of trying to trigger stuff. So I actually think it's worth it just to toss the Calling Wing here. And if I snap, there's a chance that Hydra Bob goes mid. But I think that messed with them in case they wanted to play something else there. So even though it gives them an extra energy, I think I still like that more. We're going to go that. Now that's unfortunately a really good play from them. Scorn again. Makes sense. Where does Hydra Bob go? Goes to the right lane. Okay. They definitely have Cerebro. I mean, Meek here. Grandmaster. We get more value just from playing these two out. And then we activate. Because I already think we're going to have enough points mid. So this is just better, I think. I think there's no way we can really, I think, legitimately win that left lane. And so the most I can truly do, I believe, is try to actually win the right lane right now. Maybe I didn't need both, but again, with Morbius, or Mobius, sorry. I don't think there was much more I could have done right there. Still worthwhile. Prodigy, triggers on Hope, doesn't do anything for them. Let's see. Shadow King is good. Cerebro, is that enough? They only add 9 points? No, they don't even add 9 because Shadow King isn't that. There you go. We'll take it. And actually, we got a little bit lucky with Bullseye hitting Hydra Bob. Or Bullseye is just really that skilled and hit the card we perfectly needed. Cerebro 4. Fun deck. Interesting stuff. I like the Hydra Bob in there. Not enough for them to win, but, you know, still cool. You've seen this deck before 1,900 times, and I think it's a good one. I understand people aren't really playing it a lot right now, but it's really solid. You can do so much crazy scaling with this pile of cards that I think is really good. And also, I think it's a deck that I'm hoping we're going to be seeing next week a little bit more so once we get Red Shift into the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think whenever Red Shift comes out, I think the change you do for what it's worth is going to be, I think you toss Moon Girl, or Moon Girl's also kind of in that Frigga slot that this deck normally has for your Red Shift, because then you have both the Blade and the Red Shift to hit the left or the right card of your deck, or in your hand. And I think one of the biggest things you want to typically do there is you want your Swarm to get discounted. And that's oftentimes a little bit difficult. But again, with one of those two, I think it can happen a lot more often. I really like what this deck is doing in general, though. You've got a lot of really fun scalers, a lot of really fun pieces. I think the only higher series cards that you will be seeing here are Meek, Grandmaster, Bullseye, Dakin. And unfortunately, I'm going to say at least the last two cards, Bullseye and Dakin, I think are both very essential for this deck. If you don't have either one of those, I definitely don't think you could swap them out for another card and get similar results. If you don't have Meek/Grandmaster, I think what you can do probably in Meek's slot probably is going to be doing, again, another card that you can see in some of these styles of decks. You could go with a Moon Knight, a Gambit, just as an additional way to discard cards. Or you can be going, honestly, with a Prodigy, a Frigga, and they can do the same thing for that Grandmaster slot as well. I think all of those cards will be really interesting, really fair. And I think MODOK's a lower series card now as well, if I'm not mistaken. I could be entirely mistaken, so apologies if I'm not giving a recommendation. But like I said, this deck I think is really good at scaling and really outpowers a lot of stuff that we're seeing with the end of turn decks that a lot of people are running. And it's just a really solid deck. And I know they've taken a few points here and there from it, and so thusly the deck has fallen out of style, but it's really good. I know it doesn't have anything flashy and new, but if you're wanting something flashy and new to mess with once Redshift comes out again, I was thinking this is going to be a really great deck. So give it a try. Let me know what you think of it down below. If you haven't hit Infinite, you've got a couple of days left, so maybe this can get your climb to that final little bit. Thank you so much for watching today. Hope you're having a great one, and until the next one, I'll see you later. Peace.